2021, Richard Huey learned about an agribusiness scheme that offered to pay up to 30% interest on investment in 4 months. She took the bait and invested $550, but the company shut down soon after and its founder vanished into thin air.
I tried to log in. I had access to the website. I could see the fund. I could see the interest, but I could not do anything.
Like Huey, hundreds of investors who lost their monies reported the company to the police, but they found out via news reports that the same firm had been accused of a $70,000 bank loan fraud in connivance with corrupt bank officials. The bank in question, though, denied any wrongdoing.
It was a joke at first to me because it has never happened to me. Okay, you guys gotta be kidding me. But unfortunately, it wasn't a joke.
Fraud is on the rise in Nigeria's financial system. Nigerian institutions have lost $201 million to fraud since 2020, according to the Financial Institutions Training Center, a research and advocacy organization. Experts say growing electronic payments and less stringent verification standards are making local targets more vulnerable to fraud. In fact, financial institutions are often unable to thoroughly probe fraud cases due to poor information sharing and lack of coordination.
The system is designed in such a way that its attempt to address corruption is superficial.
Consulting firm KPMG says only 30% of Nigerian banks have fully implemented anti-fraud measures that allow mandatory verification of the customer's identity before opening an account. In 2021, the central bank asked bank customers to report unauthorized debits to its customer protection desk. Last year, President Bola Tinubu launched an anti-corruption campaign and called for support. And in January, Nigeria's Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, and the EFCC said they are teaming up to fight corruption.
We have our own constraints, just like every other organization. And we know that as a commission, that everybody eyes on the commission. We have been doing our best, we have a good team.
Hello, my beautiful African people. Welcome back to Where and Right Africa YouTube channel. Today we are talking about, we are taking a look at what the anti-corruption agency in Nigeria said about Nigerian banks. They said that 70% of financial crimes in that country are committed by the banks or the bank's official in that country. And this is so sad because those that work in the banks, they are responsible for the transaction, or almost everyday transaction in that country, because of many people in that country use mobile banking to do their day-to-day business activities, or even to buy stuff. And it is so sad to hear that those that are responsible to handle their money, or those that keep their money, they give these people their money to keep for them, they are the majority of people siphoning or embezzling or taking some people's money illegally. And when you listen to the anti-graft chairman, what he said, you see why in Africa we have problems in Africa, because most of the time what we do in Africa is that we are reactionary. We are not proactive, Proactive means, you have to do your best to prevent the crime from happening, not start to, chasing after the crime when it has already occurred. And that's what we see often in Africa. In my next video, I'm going to do about 22 Chinese that were caught in Zambia, doing, all this financial fraud, online, from Zambia. And they caught them, they already done a lot of them. You see, that's why, we're supposed to have a system in Africa that just prevent it from happening, instead of a system that allow it to happen and we start to look for solution. And going back to what the anti-graft chairman said, of Nigeria said, he said that we are doing our best. I don't know his definition of his idea of somebody doing his best. Because you can't tell me that you are doing your best when 70% of this stuff is happening in the banks and you're not doing anything. Is that the best you can do? Because when people throw some words around, some people don't even look deep into what they're saying by saying you are doing your best. There's nothing like doing your best in that situation. Another problem we see in this Nigerian, crimes is that financial crime is that Nigeria doesn't have a central database for their own citizens. Even when they say that in Nigeria is maybe close to 300 million in population, this is just an assumption. They get this figure from maybe looking at the number of people that have bank accounts. They go to private firms to find what's the number of people that have accounts, or people that register for voting in an election. When they look at these figures, maybe they add plus or minus, and they come out with something like that, because as far as I know, Nigeria doesn't record, accurately record birth and death in that country. They don't know. People might die and no one record their death, and people might be born and no one even, there's no official record, except, some hospital might have the record, but they are not guaranteed to keep those records. Sometimes, which means if you are born in a hospital in Nigeria, maybe 15 years ago, you might go there and you start looking for your record, because it might not be there anymore, because they don't consider it priority to have these records. Let me circle back to the banking fraud we were talking about, because what's happened is that those people that they caught them doing this stuff in the bank in Nigeria, and they sometimes they don't even go to prison. They just allow them to go mingle with the citizen. And those people, again, because there's no central database where you can check somebody's information, past activities, to know if you have done some crimes before, which means those people might still be hired by different banks. The one that are not from the one they committed this crime. That's the problem we have in Africa. And it's not, you're not fighting anything until you have this kind of a database, active database in that country that can be, somebody can, go online, check somebody's details, without any problem. Until we have it in that country, until they have it, there's no, fighting this stuff is just talking. It's going to keep happening. And the problem is that when they say the 70%, which means, you can, this is a negative rating for the whole banking system in that country. Which means they allow this stuff to foster. And this is too bad, because people will fall into victim of what they don't know about, many people believe that, bank is a safe hand, But when it becomes in a place where it's not safe anymore for someone to keep his money, it becomes a problem, a big problem for that country. And the only way you can fight corruption is to proactive, not reactive. And when you catch some people that indulge in this kind of bad behavior, they need to be punished, not so, because sometimes some people commit some crimes in Africa, maybe because they are connected to one politician or the other, they will go scot-free, no punishment for them. And you will be surprised to find them working in a different bank, maybe in 2 months later. That's the problem we have in Africa. Until we have this stuff, we take this stuff, data keeping serious in Africa, we're not going anywhere. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our video, because it helps us reach more people. And if you disagree with what we're saying, you let us know in the comment section, or even if you agree, let us hear your own opinion. Thank you for watching. Peace.